Hello and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I am Mike Woods. I'm the General Manager and Vice President of Sales for Denodo. Today, I have the pleasure of talking to Sangeeta Edwin, the VP of Data and Analytics at US Venture. Thank you, Sangeeta, for joining me today.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Today, a discussion about data analytics can't be done without at least mentioning artificial intelligence, machine learning. What's your journey been like getting into those? I mean, so far you've talked somewhat about reporting and getting data together, but have you started to go toward that kind of AI machine learning to help you with some of those forecasts?
Yep, absolutely. So, if I may, right, just to like take a step back before I answer your AI ML journey, right?
Perfect.
So, because I truly believe in one thing that sometimes, before we jump to AI ML, you need to have some foundational level stuff, for good data, clean versions of data, and then we
Agreed.
work on it, right? Because otherwise you're just swirling and twirling and challenging, right? What is good and bad. So really, the start of my journey at US Venture, when I was hired, the vision, right, for enabling a data analytics function and becoming an insights data and insights driven culture is really came from the CEO of the company, right? So he really wanted us to, make sure we come in, we build it out, and since he was invested, so was his leadership, right? So the senior leadership, his staff was a part of, when I started this journey. So the first year at least we invested in building out that infrastructure, which included the platform, and it is a cloud-based platform for us, Microsoft Azure. We built that out. We took certain use cases. So it was not like, hey, let's build it out, bring it on. No, we need
Right.
to know what are we solving for. So we went after finance, we went after HR, people resources. We looked at Auto Force, which is our biggest divisions. And then we focused those around use cases and started to bring that together. Right.
Okay.
And the one thing, right, and this is since I've done this in the past at Rockwell, I was very anal about we're not just going to bring the data for bringing the data into a cloud platform. We're going to make sure we know how to profile, cleanse, keep the data quality up. And I got a lot of support from our CFO because since finance was coming first, he said, hey, I waste a lot of time. When I ask for something, I get 5 different versions of that data. And I'm
Exactly.
asking which one is correct. So I don't want all this. If you're going to do it right, then I want one version coming up and I really need the certification mark on it that this is certified. So I will go only after the certified version. So that the thing that helped us over there was from the really start of our journey, we baked in that quality, making sure governance is there, certification is there, and we held people accountable for that. So once we started to get through that, now we know that, hey, the data is there, it's sitting there. So even while we are building this platform, just FYI, I do have an advanced analytics team, right? So
Okay.
we have, like, I would say right now I have 4 data scientists in that. 2 of them are senior, 2 are kind of medium to junior, right? Then
Okay.
we have data science engineers who help them kind of work through, build the data and all. And then we have analysts, right? So this is kind of the make of that team. The one thing that's different is, so I do have a platform engineering architecture team that's like to build up the platform, keep bringing the data, deliver those use cases. My advanced analytics team really partners very closely, whether it's a corporate function like finance or people resources or product divisions like Autoforce, AI, energy. They very closely, align with them to understand the strategic roadmap. Hey, what is the business doing? Where are they going? The one thing we have focused our AI ML team on is that when it needs a lot of data, a
Mhm.
lot of variety of data, right? Because, it's like you need internal, external data. You're looking at geospatial maps. You need maps data. You need weather data. You need something that's a great candidate for a AI ML use case, right? So we really focus on what is it that you're trying to solve. It needs to be a difficult problem. It needs to have a different variety of data that's needed. and there's no way a human can solve it, right? So those are kind of our criteria to vet out the use
Interesting.
case, and then we do look at it. Hey, what's the availability of historical data we are sitting on, and what good quality it is to kind of start to mash it up, and start to generate those use cases. So I'll give you an example, and just one other thing I will add. Since I said that the CEO was the one who started this journey, he really holds his team accountable for
Mm,
what the DNA team delivers. So they are held accountable for that the DNA team needs to work on what is value add, right? So we are very structured about defining those use cases, defining the value to the point that once we define the value, before the senior leader signs off, we go sit down with their finance person and say, this is the value defined. Do you agree with it? Can we measure it? Can we show the impact? All of it. So it's a pretty, it's a lot of rigor, much more rigor
sure.
than what I had experienced in my past. But
Right.
I'll give you an example through all of this, right? I mean, I'll give you an example, which is a very big success story for us at US Venture. So we were bringing in sales data, we were bringing all the finance data and all. So for Autoforce, the sales team came to us and said, "Hey, we are doing business. Sometimes our sales people are going on these different routes, and when they come back, we realize, oh, you were going there. There were five other customers you could have gone to, right? And or leads. Sorry, not
Gotcha.
customers, leads. You could have
Right,
gone and
right.
talked to these leads, and we would have gotten more customers." So they came and said, hey, can you do this, right? Can you do this maps? Look at, what are the leads over here? What are the routes we are taking? And what's the potential opportunity of them buying from us? So we don't just want to kind of send our salespeople there if they're not going to buy from us. So
Right.
it started off like densify the routes, right? If they're going, can we do it? But then the second was if you're going into markets which we never existed, right? Then they would need a lot of salespeople, and they said, "Hey, I don't want that. I want something automated. Give me the tool, right?" So
Right.
it started off with that topic, but we brought in sales, we brought in geospatial, we brought in external market data, a lot of stuff, and mashed it up, right, to start to see this tool generates leads by the way, right? So it tells us that where are we, where are customers, where are warehouses, what types of products, and it tells us that hey, these are the leads I think you should go after. So after a year, we have matured the tool so much that those leads now get loaded into Salesforce and get assigned to our salespeople. That hey, you're going there, just go for it. The good thing about that is when we generate the leads, it comes with a tag saying it was generated by the DNA lead directory project. So
Right. Excellent.
whatever revenue gets tracked, we just run a report every day, and every month we run a report and say, hey, we have added X million of revenue for you guys. So that has brought a lot of credibility for us because there is no ambiguity at all in the business.
Sh-
Everybody runs a report and says, yes, we know you guys have added this value. So that is one of the golden nuggets, for my team. I'm waiting on identifying couple others in the forecasting side. And then I was like, I will never have to justify my existence.
Exactly. You're in. That's exciting. That sounds really cool. Now, you brought up something interesting, and I built data warehouses my whole career, so I'm very familiar with that idea of making sure your data is certified, and certainly there is a huge advantage of that. The flip side of it, that though is to be agile, right? And to get fast value from the data. How do you kind of balance that kind of and no disrespect, because again, I came from this lineage, but kind of that more old school of the data's got to be right versus kind of the newer school of run and get value. How do you guys balance that at US Venture?
So number one, just to maybe I'll explain first how we are set up,
Okay.
right? The DNA function as such. So we have implemented our data analytics function in a federated setup, right?
Okay.
So my team, which is the enterprise team, we kind of sit in the center, right? So and within my team, as I said, we have platform engineering architecture, data management governance, advanced analytics, and I also have program management that does agile. right? So we do
Gotcha.
PI planning, sprint planning, and all, and we are one of the teams which really, everybody enjoys it, and we are very disciplined with it. We are very mature with how we run agile, right? So those are kind of the lay of the land on my side. And then what we have done is, since we have now enabled data analytics for our finance team, there is a small finance DNA team, right? So they have a product owner, they have a business analyst, they'll
Okay.
have a couple analysts, they'll have data owners, data stewards. These are key roles that we make sure they're staffed within the business side. The same way we have a HR, or we call it people resources team. So they have a DNA team. They're a little smaller, they're growing. The third one we are bringing in is our AutoForce division. So AutoForce is staffing up their team. So that's kind of the lay of the land. So what we do is, when I talked about PI planning, which is program increment planning in Agile, we bring all these teams together, right? So we understand
Okay.
what are they working on, where are the dependencies, because even AutoForce needs something from finance, needs something from HR, needs something from us. And we like to kind of make sure we understand where are the dependencies, who is working on what, and we are not stepping over each other, but we are clearly understanding what it is. So through those, we have been able to bring structure for the stuff what you talked about, bring in the data, cleanse the data, build the quality, all of it, right?
Right.
But when there are use cases that come which are talking about new data, I want to try out this. Will it even work? Is it even feasible? Those are not going through this rigor. Okay, so we do have a setup where we talk about proof of concepts or pilot, right?
There you
It
go.
usually starts with a proof of concept, right?
Sure.
Let's bring it in. Sometimes it could be like, I'm just trying out a new technology, so it's a proof of technology. Those are very time bound projects for us. So depending on, but it still goes through the intake. We do
Okay.
the intake, we fill it in. If it is a proof of technology, then the CIO has to approve that I agree. The team is going to work on it. We are going to test it. And what are going to be the outcomes? And how are we going to measure success? And if it doesn't go in that direction, we kill it. Otherwise, we move forward with it, right? So, but justification is still there. The same way, if it is data is there, I'm trying a new concept, we bring it in. We put in a couple resources saying, let's do a proof of concept of trying it out. Like, that's where actually, if I were to explain you my stack, as I said, we have the Azure stack, but
Right.
we have Databricks, Power BI, but we also have Data IQ. So we
Ah,
use Data IQ a lot in those POCs when we're just bringing in data, because it's a more business friendly, tool to kind of just look at it, build some rules, look at stuff. So usually we run those for anywhere from 3 weeks, sometimes to, I would say, 3 months, but about it. One PI is our 3 months time cycle. But
okay.
we try that, we look at the outcomes, and we go present to the senior leader from wherever it is coming. And if it has met it outcome and all, then it becomes a project. Right. So once it becomes a project, then it starts the whole journey of let's do
Let's
profiling,
do it right. And
quality, all of that. Till then,
yeah,
it is just a POC that's being tried out.
excellent. No, it sounds it's that you've found that nice sweet spot between both being organized but also being agile. So that sounds exciting. Um, so just as we kind of get to the end of our time here, what are a couple of the most important takeaways then of your journey at US Venture from a data management standpoint for our audience to think kind of how to go forward with their enterprise data strategy?
So one thing I'll tell you, right, and in all the stuff that's happening and the noise around us with generative AI, boy, I can tell you that how happy I am that when I came in this company, the very first day I said that if we are implementing a next gen, we have to implement data management governance, right? Because let me tell you, right? So since we have built our platform, we are sitting on a lot of data. Of course, Databricks now has that data intelligent platform. Microsoft has Microsoft Fabric, right? So we want to start to dabble into the generative AI, and we have initiated some prompt engineering. Can we give some smart things for our executives so they can just ask a question and the thing spits out a answer or a report? And oh boy, it's so helpful that we have our metadata defined, the quality is good, the
Right.
data is connected, because we can talk to the system in US venture language. right? And
Yes.
that question is understood by our system to give the right answer, right? So it is extremely critical, right? Sometimes I know you said that to be agile, let's start delivering solutions. By the way, there has been learnings from the past prior to my time when we have done that, right? We built some very cool nuggets and solutions. They went live, but then they could not scale.
Sure.
So the story I told you for the lead directory, it started off with AutoForce, but the way that application is built, we took that and moved that to lubricants, and now it's working for lubricants. So I think if you have the right foundation and the right processes, and by the way, the right people, please don't forget
There it
your
is.
people. Because, I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, by the way, there are many chief data analytics officers that think data management, governance, and all should be within their function. I think truly believe that the processes and holding people accountable is definitely in the central team. But to make it happen, you need the experts from the business, because finance people understand finance, HR people understand HR, my auto force people understand auto force, and they're the best. So you need them on your teams as your subject matter expertise to define those rules, implement the rules, get it up and running and all. So it is a, I would say, collaborated effort between the central team and this. But if you're starting any data analytics journey, I know it's a painful thing to kind of get data quality, metadata, lineage going. But trust me, in this world of generative AI, you will prove value by doing it.
Absolutely. Just fantastic advice. Thank you so much, Sangeeta, for these nuggets of wisdom and sharing kind of your experience at US Venture. Also, for our audience, please visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews. Thank you so much and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. Have a good day.
All right.